Hey guys, what's up, Cyclone here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about what is the best beginner loadout in Warframe. This is a very frequently asked question, and the way to answer it, we actually need to take a look at the most used weapon stats in Warframe for 2023, because that paints a picture as to what the majority of you guys actually have in your inventory. What the majority of players have is actually going to be what is the best for you to run. What you see here is a starter Warframe, just a prime version, a weapon that you get from a main story quest, a weapon that you get along the way to those main story quests, and another weapon from a main story quest. Vault is a Warframe that you can get at the very beginning of the game as a starter Warframe, and if you skipped him, you can get him quite easily from your clan's Tenno lab in the dojo. The Naderic is a bow and arrow which deals a ton of damage, is easy to mod, and is also gotten from the new war quest, which is one of the later main quests in the game. However, it is something that is mandatory for you to do, and it's going to carry you through all of the content in Warframe. The Spore Lacer is a secondary kit gun, which I actually made. You can get the parts from the Rudzud NPC in Fortuna and also Faber from Necrolisk. Then all you have to do is put all three of them together, gild it, and then level it, which we'll cover how to do that in today's video. And the Zorus you get from the Deadlock Protocol quest, and this is an insanely good weapon, which again is going to carry you very late into the game all the way into Steel Path content, because it's a glaive, and glaives, whenever you charge them up and throw them, you can press alt fire to make them explode and deal basically AoE splash damage. So this is the build that I'm running on Vault. It is literally that simple. As a beginner player, you are going to have every single one of these mods, and this is going to allow you to complete basically every mission on the star chart, with the exception of a few specific things. On the Naderic, this is the build that we run. So it is a crit chance build where we've got Point Strike and Vital Sense for crit chance and crit damage, Duration for base damage, Rhyme Rounds and Malignant Force to make viral, Speed Trigger for more fire rate, and then 100 munitions to force some slash procs whenever we crit. On the Spore Lacer, we're running Hornet Strike for base damage, Barrel Fusion for multi-shot, Target Cracker and Pistol Gambit for crit chance and crit damage, Lethal Torrent for more fire rate and multi-shot. Then we're running Viral Heat with Pistol Pestilence and Frostbite to make viral, and Heated Charge to make heat. Then on the Zorus, we're running a 2x heavy spam build, so we have Pressure Point and Killing Blow for more base damage, Sacrificial Steel for more critical chance, Volatile Quick Return for a higher explosion radius, Focus Energy for electric damage, Organ Shatter for some critical damage, Corrupt Charge for more initial combo, and Shocking Touch for even more electric damage. So like I mentioned, to get the Naderic, you have to complete the new war quest, and you do have to do a lot of different things, such as get a Necromech and get a Railjack to get your way up to this quest. So basically, between when you start the game up until the new war quest, you can use any primary weapon in the game. As long as you're throwing the Serration mod on, some elemental mods, and some crit mods on, the weapons are going to do just fine for star chart content. The only problem that you're really going to run into is farming a Necromech. And whenever you're fighting the Necromechs in the isolation vaults, you want to throw radiation damage onto your weapons. That's a combination of electric and fire whenever you're modding your weapon. You also have to go out of your way to get a Railjack, but it is far easier to get a Railjack nowadays. The quest literally shows you everything that you have to do, and you get all the resources easy peasy as well. The Deadlock Protocol is a side quest that you're going to unlock as you progress through the star chart, and during this quest you're basically going to be forced to craft the Zors to complete it, so there's no way you can really miss it. On top of that, you also have to complete the Deadlock Protocol quest if you want to fight a sister or farm Protea, so this is just something that you're going to have to do eventually anyway, so just do it as soon as you can. And then whenever it comes to getting the Spore Lacer, we're going to have to go to both Fortuna and Necrolis and talk to some NPC and farm up some mining resources and fishing resources, which I'm going to show you how to do in today's video. But first, we want to go ahead and go to Fortuna. Now, if you're totally brand new to the game, Fortuna is located on Venus, and you just have to press this button right here. So go ahead, enter Fortuna, and then select one of the servers. I like to go to 69 because haha, funny number. Now, the NPC that we want to go ahead and talk to is located on the right hand side of Fortuna, and this is Rudzud. If you go ahead and you talk to Rudzud, what you're able to do is you can go ahead and build a kit gun. And what we're going to do is we're going to throw throw together the Spore Lacer as a preview. So the parts that we need to get is the Spore Lacer chamber, the Haymaker grip, and the Deep Breath looter if you're a newer player, or the Splat looter if you already have access to everything from Fortuna. So the reason that I recommend going Spore Lacer, Haymaker, and then Deep Breath is simply because this is the earliest that you can make a good Spore Lacer. You get access to kit guns as early as Master Rank 0, so it makes sense to recommend to a newer player to put together a Spore Lacer with the cheapest parts or the earliest parts as they can. So you can get the Haymaker grip and the Deep Breath looter from Rudzud here. All you have to do is back out of this screen and go ahead and press Browse Wares. What you might have to do is you might have to increase your standing by doing bounties for the people of Fortuna to actually be able to buy the blueprints for the parts. So what you need to do is you want to go ahead and buy a Haymaker blueprint for 1,000 standing, like so, and then we want to buy a Deep Breath blueprint as well for 500 standing. So I've went ahead and I've got both of those items. Now what we have to do is we have to go back to our foundry and actually craft them. But as you can see here, it requires some resources which you probably don't have. So we need Goblet Tears, Travesite Alloy, Scrap, Recaster, Neural Relay for the Haymaker. And then for the Deep Breath, we need those spores, which you can get from just doing bounties, Travesite Alloy again, more Scrap again, and Scrubber Exabrains. So what you want to do whenever it comes to finding a new resource in the game that you've literally never seen before is you just want to go ahead and open up your chat, do a square bracket in the chat like so, and then type in the name of what it is that you need to farm. So Goblet Tears shows up here. I just go ahead and I press that. I press enter, then I can click on it and I can see what it actually says. So it says polished and cut to perfection, blueprint sold by Smokefinger in Fortuna Venus. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same for the Travesite Alloy. I'm just going to go square bracket, type in Travesite Alloy shows up, go ahead, enter, click on it again. Blueprint sold by Smokefinger in Fortuna on Venus. We also need Scrap and Recaster Neural Relay, so I'm going to do the same. So type in Scrap, press enter, go ahead, left click it, and it says a sample of sprockets, gyros, and wires acquired by disassembling any servofish. And then the Recaster Neural Relay, just go ahead, do the square bracket, Recaster Neural Relay, go ahead and click on it like so, press enter, there we go. So acquired by disassembling Recaster Servofish. Scrubber Exabrain is up next. We just go ahead, type that in as well. We go ahead, we left click it, and it says acquired by disassembling a Scrubber Servofish. So we go ahead, we pause the game, we press fast travel, and we go over to Smokefinger. We press Browse Wares. We can see that we have the Travesite Alloy blueprint and the Goblet Tears blueprint. So you want to go ahead and pick both of those up, and it's going to add them to your foundry. It's a reusable blueprint, so we only have to buy both of these once. But now we need to find out, where do we get the Recaster fish and the Scrubber fish? We want to come over here to the business, go ahead, press Browse Wares, and if you haven't already, go ahead and pick up the Shock Prod Fishing Spear. You're going to make sure that you have some broad spectrum bait and some narrow spectrum bait. So we need Scrubber Exabrains. What you can do is you can just go ahead and type in the name of the fish in chat. Go ahead, press on it. It says analyzes the growth of microbes dwelling in the aqua systems to monitor toxicity levels. It can be found in cave pools on Venus. And then the Recaster, if we go ahead, we type that in, we do a left click, it says facilitates long distance communication between robotics deployed in the aqua system. It can be found in the ponds around Venus. Now what it doesn't tell you is what bait to use, what temperature of Venus it has to be, and also if you need to use a hotspot or not. On top of that, there's no real way for you to tell what is a pond and what isn't. So for that, we need to refer to the wiki and some other player-made resources to figure out what is what. So over here on the wiki, I've got the Scrubber tab open. So it says Scrubber is a common type of servofish in the Orvalis. It can be found in caves and it spawns in cold and warm weather. Broad spectrum bait is recommended. So if we come back into the game, we can just go ahead and hold down M on our map and we can look for a cave icon on the map. Just go ahead and waypoint that. And now it's just a matter of us running over to it or flying over to it, whatever your preferred method of travel actually is. There wasn't any water in the first cave, so I came over to this one. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and bring up our scroll wheel. We're going to bring out our fishing spear. Make sure you have it equipped. So all you have to do to equip it is pause the game, press Arsenal, then go to your gear wheel and equip it like that. Make sure that you've got the right bait selected, so broad spectrum. We're going to go ahead and throw it into the water here. If you have any dye from the Plains of Eidolon, the fish vendor there, you can go ahead and throw that there in too. you can actually mark the fish. And now what I recommend doing is just keep on catching fish until the ones that you need start to spawn in. So as you can see, here's a scrubber. You just go ahead, we throw our fishing spear, we press left click when it's in the purple, and we got ourselves a scrubber. The different types of scrubber fish are actually going to get you different amounts of resources. So whenever I say different amounts of resources, I mainly mean scrap. So it doesn't matter which type you get, you're always going to get one exabrain. But if you get a magnificent one, you're going to get 3 scrap. But you get a basic one, you're going to get 1 scrap. If you get an adorned one, you're going to get 2 scrap. So just keep on fishing around until you have enough exabrains to craft the stuff that you need to craft. So next up, we need the temperature of Venus to be cold. And you can view the temperature just by pressing M to bring up your map. And as you can see in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, it says cold in 5 minutes. So what we need to do before it turns cold is we need to identify a pond. Now, it's worth it to note the different locations of the different ponds because we also need a hotspot. So on this little map that I've got on screen now, thanks to a Reddit user that went ahead and posted this map way whenever Fortuna came out, basically all of the green bodies of water, that is a pond. Anything that is blue is a lake, and as you can see, the caves are marked in yellow as well. So I think I'm going to go ahead and go to the pond that is closest to the reflector control in the top right hand of the map. And I'm going to stand there and wait around until it turns cold, and then hopefully I'll be able to get those fish that we need. If you look at my screen right now, you can see that the water is kind of glowing. That indicates that this body of water right now is a hotspot, and we're only able to get the recaster fish from hotspots and with the right bait thrown in. So we need to wait until it turns cold, and then we throw the bait in, and then hopefully the recasters are going to spawn. Remember, all you have to do to choose the right bait, if you own it, is just go ahead and hold 2 whenever you've got your fishing spear equipped, and then left click the right bait. So finally, after the longest 2 minutes of my life, it is finally cold in the Orvalis. I've went ahead and I've thrown in the narrow spectrum baits. This is this red one right here, and I went ahead and thrown in a dye, and I can see a bunch of different fish, and there you go. There is my first recaster. Gonna go ahead, throw my spear, catch him like that, and well done, you got your first recaster fish. Like, all you gotta do is keep on fishing around. Make sure that the water is a hotspot. The hotspots can randomly disappear. You might have to move from pond to pond, or just move around the pond that you're at. So as you can see, there's a hotspot over there, but there's no hotspot over there. So if I was to fish over there, I wouldn't be getting any recasters. But if I fish over there, I'm going to get some recasters. Besides fishing, we also have to mine. So come to Smokefinger and make sure that you've picked up the Some Point Plasma Drill. Now, if you're already max rank with Fortuna, you can pick up these 2 upgrades here at the bottom, which is going to make mining a little bit easier. I'm going to go ahead and equip the mining tool. So just pause the game, go to equipment, go to arsenal, then go to your gear wheel and make sure that you've got equipped in one of the open slots. Remember that we're looking for Goblite and Traveride from mining. So what you want to do is open your chat again, just type in Goblite and then type in Traveride. So that's the second one, press enter. Goblite, a strange crystal that grows inside the veins of extracted ore. Found in Orvalis Venus from blue mining veins and from resource containers across the landscape. And then Traveride is found in the Orvalis Venus from red mining veins and found from resource containers across the landscape as well. So come into Fortuna, go ahead and equip your plasma drill. Now what I recommend doing is going straight for a cave. So just go ahead and mark the cave that is closest to you. I'm going to go ahead, go on my Arcwing, fly over to the cave. And remember, we're looking for both red and blue veins. So here is a blue vein up here. Just go ahead, aim down sights, hold down left click, and just make sure that you get the bar into the little white zone that you can see moving. Sometimes it's stationary, and then you're going to get some of the resources that hopefully you need for some stuff. So I recommend doing a mixture of like mining and fishing at the same time. So if you have to go to a cave to get a fish, do some mining in there as well before you leave, just so you sort of stay on top of things. Or let's say you're waiting for the temperature of Venus to go from like warm to cold or cold to warm, you can do some mining in the meantime. All of the stuff that you get from mining is affected by resource boosters, so if you've got the plat laying around and you want to make this farm a little bit easier, well then, you know, go ahead and get a booster. You just want to keep on mining until you have everything that you need, really. But once you've got all the fish that you need, you want to come to the business and just go ahead, press dismantle servo fish. You can go ahead and middle mouse button on these guys to select all of them. Just go ahead, press dismantle, and you'll see all of the resources that you get. So as you can see, we got some scrap, we got the recaster neural relay, and we got the scrubber exabrains. Just press confirm to claim all of it, and there you go. And then once you have all the mining resources that you need to craft the items, just come to your foundry and then type in the name name of the stuff. So you can go to the mining tab here. You can see that we have some goblet to craft goblet tiers. Just go ahead and craft that. It only takes a minute. And then we need the Travesite alloy. We get 10 of those. It takes a minute as well. And we have to spend Traveride, salvage, and plastids. We go ahead, we craft that, and that's going to be done in a minute as well. Once you have all the resources that you need, you can go ahead and spend these resources on the Haymaker and the Deep Breath, and then we can go ahead and get the Spore Lacer. To get the Spore Lacer, come to your navigation, and then go to Deimos up here, and then Necrolisk. Once you get in here, just go ahead, pause the game, go to Fast Travel, and you want to fast travel to Favor. So to craft the Spore Lacer, we need to spend 500 standing to get the blueprint. We need some Postulite, which are going to get passively just by doing bounties in Deimos. We need some Adromal alloy, so to get the blueprint we need to go talk to Otak and buy that for standing. Benign Infested Tumor comes from every single fish in Deimos, so we need to get the fishing spear for Deimos specifically, and we need Sporulate Sac, which comes from the Glutinox fish that only spawns in whenever Vom's light is up, but we need the fast residue to actually attract it, so we need to get some vast residue. So once you've picked up the blueprint, go ahead and pause, go to fast travel here, go to Otak, go to Browse Wares, and pick up the Adromal alloy blueprint. Again, this is a reusable one. You need Adramalium, Traveride, and Plastids for this, so we need to do some mining here in Deimos as well for the Adramalium. Adramalium comes from the yellow mining legions, so you're looking for yellow ones this time. And you can also get it from breaking things around Deimos too, so keep that in mind as well. Now if we go talk to Daughter, we press Browse Wares, we can get the Spari Spear or the Ibisu Spear. Doesn't matter which one you get, they're both used for catching the fish here in Deimos. Now you don't want to buy either of the processed residues here. We're going to go out into Deimos and actually just pick them up. So you're always going to be able to find some residue basically right in front of Deimos here. It usually spawns in this area, but if you can't find it, just run around or fly around, whatever method of travel you're using until you see some glowing. So this is the Vom residue. The fast residue is going to be an orange color, and this is basically just the equivalent of bait but here in Deimos, and all you have to do to pick it up is just come close to it, go ahead, destroy it, and as you can see I just picked it up. It gets added into my inventory. You can enter into caves here in Deimos as well. It's just a matter of doing the exact same thing, looking for the little sort of like lesions. So that one was a blue one. That's not going to drop the Adramalium. We're looking for a yellow one. The yellow ones are very hard to see in my opinion. You can sometimes find them on these little branches as well, but unfortunately for me, this is a blue one again. Okay, I finally found a yellow one. My eyesight is either awful or these just did not spawn in for me, so just go ahead, do the exact same thing. Just hold down left click on all of the blue spots and then match it up with the white bits while you're mining, and then eventually you will get a mining resource, and there you go. I actually got Adramalium first try. So we're looking for a fish called the Glutinox. Now the actual biome for this thing is just called surface, so that means it's out on the surface of Deimos. It comes in whenever it is Vom, so it's currently Vom for me right now, and it likes fast residue. So if I just go ahead, hold down my gear wheel, bring out my fishing spear, doesn't matter which one you've got on in the gear wheel because you can hold down one and equip the right one that you need. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and throw the fast residue, so that's the red one, into this water here, and I'm going to go ahead and wait around for the Glutinox to spawn in. That's not the one that I need, but I'm going to go ahead and catch it anyway to hopefully spawn in a Glutinox. The Glutinox are right there after the first catch. Easy peasy. You just want to keep on doing that until you have all the Glutinox that you need, so we can craft our Spore Lacer. Remember to come and talk to Daughter after you've got all the Glutinox and press cut fish. Just middle mouse button all of the fish that you caught again, and then press cut fish to get all the resources that you need. Then you can go ahead, back out, and then type in Adromal alloy, implying you picked up the blueprint from Otak. You can go ahead and you can spend some Traveride, some Adramalium, some Plastids to build the Adromal alloy that you need. Then you can go ahead and spend everything that you've got on the Haymaker, the Deep Breath, and the Spore Lacer parts. Then we can take them back to Fortuna or even to Necrolisk if you really want. And what we do is we talk to Rudzud to put all of the parts together, and then we spend a little bit of credits, and that's going to give us an ungilded version of our kit gun. What you want to do is you want to level your ungilded Spore Lacer from level 0 to 30. You want to go back to Rudzud then, spend some standing and some depth bonds to gild it, and then it's going to be at its full potential. Anytime you craft a kit gun, you want to throw on a V polarity because a lot of the mods in the game that are good use V polarities. And there you go, you got yourself a really good Spore Lacer. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe as it helps the channel a lot. If you want to get early access to my videos, you can become a channel member by pressing the join button beneath this video for $5 a month. Or if you want early access to other cool resources and behind the scenes content, you can subscribe to my Patreon for less than $5 a month. Consider clicking on the video on screen, and I'll see you guys in the next one.